What's going on? How y'all doing? This video gonna be about Ellis, black man who got lynched by 3 cops in Tacoma, Washington, and they finally are charging those killer thug cops. 2 of them are gonna get second-degree murder charges. One is gonna get a manslaughter charge. I am glad for Manuel Ellis's family, but I'm disappointed. I think Bob Ferguson, one of those guys that was prosecuting with the state. This only came about because of George Floyd. See, the thing about how a lot of things happen in this country is we got to see what you do. And when it comes to race, they're afraid to stand out and really hold themselves accountable. America's been allowing black men to be lynched by these racist cops for centuries. But only because the George Floyd movement was so strong and they were worried that the people in the street were taking it back, that they said, well, okay, we got to do something. They knowingly could have done something a year ago. I saw the video. Manuel Ellis was saying, I can't breathe. He was getting stomped out like a piñata. They were beating him to a pulse. And it took all this time to just now decide to do something. Why? You see, you can't trust them because this wait and see, all this stuff that goes on is murder. The racism, institutionalized systematism is murder. Why would it take to see another black man's case where it triggered a reaction in the Seattle area and across the country to protest and their thing? Why would it take that when you got it right there in your yard and you're acting like you a Freddy cat? It was there. So Manuel Ellis should have been had justice, and other cases as well, like Breonna Taylor, And I can go on. Hers is a real travesty, but I'm gonna tell you something. Ronald Green's, and then you got Andrew Brown Jr. I mean, come on now. These places are embarrassing to the country. I'll say it again. I'm gonna say it again. COVID, which is still going on, we're still in the middle of it. It ain't over. But the real virus in this country, which there is no cure, there's no jab, there's no distances, there's no mask, there is nothing, is racism. And it's legally allowed to go on. The legalized genocide of racism is a thriving business that white privilege condones and allows. And until they were to change the history books and tell the truth, it's going to keep on being a thriving business because they feel more comfortable with keeping black folks at bay and not telling the truth about black folks needing to be compensated reparations for institutionalized systematic racism, the mental aspect of it that goes on every single day in this country, and also the lack of understanding. If it's supposedly the United States of America, well, that black and white business has never been resolved. That's a fact. And when you see someone like Manuel Ellis, who was pleading with his life and getting stomped out, and they had to wait for George Floyd, you don't mean to tell me, they said, well, if he's black, we're going to see what happens there. Then we'll decide to do something. That's embarrassing. I'm glad his family's getting some sort of justice, but why would it take another black man being lynched in a similar fashion for it to say, okay, we'll do something now? That's pitiful and that's embarrassing. Sadly, they still don't value black life, because if they did, they wouldn't have to wait on somebody else to say, hey, file them charges now. Get this trash thug cops off the streets and get them off the streets. But they've been so busy kowtowing to these racist cops that they give them coffee and donut duty, that's the inherited reality of white privilege, to do what you want because you feel like it. That's the sad truth. All right, but give me your thoughts. Text. Manuel Ellis, Tacoma, Washington, was lynched by a thug cop. They're finally charging those cops, but it was only because of the George Floyd situation. Manuel Ellis, why was it so long for him to get justice? Please hit the like, hit the subscribe, welcome thoughts and comments. I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. And why you have to go for one thing when you have it right there in front of you? So the bottom line is, Manuel Ellis, why did it take so long for justice to be served? Why are they just now charging those cops? Should not have come down to George Floyd, because this happened 2.5 months prior to George Floyd, and they just now charging those racist thug cops. That don't make no sense. That's the problem in this country. They need to handle it when it's there. I'm out.